Hello and welcome to the DIY Home Laboratory for April. Our experiment this month is going to involve some snacks around the house, as well as other supplies to make some cool science gadgets. Our first experiment is going to be using 2 cups, a balloon, scissors, and mini marshmallows. We're going to use these to make marshmallow cannons, so it's more of a craft than a science experiment, but there's a way to explain this as a science activity, I assure you. Make sure you have all your supplies ready before we begin. If you got your DIY home laboratory kit from the library by signing up for the program, you'll have all the materials you need for this. We're going to start by cutting the 2 cups at the same exact length near the bottom of the cup. This is going to be the nozzle or the cannon that's going to help us shoot the marshmallows. I have some cups pre-cut here, but you can cut yours at home. Next, we're going to take a balloon, and while I'm doing it a little backwards in this video, you're going to want to tie the end of the cup of the balloon off first, and then you're going to cut the very end of the balloon off. I did it a little backwards, so I'm cutting the balloon, and then I'm tying the balloon. I think either way works. But we're going to use this balloon as the thing that shoots the marshmallow. So make sure that you have just the end of your balloon cut off. We're going to wrap that around the end of the cups, and then make sure that your balloon is also tied off, because that'll be how we launch the mini marshmallows. Now that we have our balloon ready, we're going to stretch it over the lid of the cups. You can stretch it over the top side, the bigger end of the cup, the rim. It might take a few tries to get it on there. It might be a little tricky, and it might pop off a few times, but you have everything you need to make a marshmallow shooter now. Once your balloon is on there securely, which is taking me a little trouble, but I assure you, it's not too hard. But once it's on there, you're going to flip it upside down and put your marshmallow inside of the cannon. With your marshmallow in the middle of the cannon, pull back this rubber band and boom, it launches out. Now you have a marshmallow cannon. The cup acts as a nozzle for all the force and energy generated by the balloon. This will help the marshmallow fire out really far. I don't have it on camera here, but I can shoot a marshmallow across the room with this. You can also try putting other small things inside your cannon, like little balls of paper or pom-poms if you have any. Our next experiment is out of this world because we're going to make milk planets. To do this, you'll need the following ingredients. You'll need whole milk, you'll need some food coloring, a bowl to put your milk into, dish soap, a Q-tip or a cotton swab, and a small container to put your dish soap in. First, we're going to start by putting the milk into the bottom of the bowl. We only want a little bit of milk because we don't want too much milk for the food coloring to hide under. So make sure you just cover the bottom of your bowl with your milk. Now we're going to put a small amount of this food coloring into the bowl. Use your cotton swab to give it a stir if it doesn't show up very well. My food coloring here in the milk doesn't seem to be making much of a splash just yet because it's just making little red dots. But if you give it a stir with the cotton swab, it will look bright red in that milk. Ah, see, there's the color. It was hiding at the bottom of the milk. Now we're going to put a small amount of dish soap into our cotton swab cup for us to dip our cotton swab into. So, let's open up our dish soap and pour a little bit in. Oops, made a little bit of a mess and a little bubble, but that's alright. So you just need a little bit of dish soap, not a lot, just enough to cover the end of the cotton swab. If you have another cotton swab, you can use that instead so you don't get food coloring all over your hands. Cover the end of the cotton swab with the dish soap and then get ready for some magic. We're going to dip it into the milk and it's going to make big planets. Woo! The milk keeps acting after we do the cotton swab covered in dish soap into the milk. is making big rings like the planet Saturn. You can do this multiple times. Sorry if my hands are in the way. So there's actually a lot of interesting science for why this happens. The reason this happens is because the dish soap's molecules have bipolarity, which means that each side of the molecule of dish soap is different. One side of the molecule is attracted to water, and the other side is attracted to fat or protein. While I'm explaining this, let's add more colors, because why not? It makes it look pretty. So anyway, the milk has plenty of fat and protein, which is what the dish soap is coming for when it goes into the bowl. It's attracting the milk. It's trying to get closer to it, and thus it's pushing away the food coloring so that the milk can get closer to the dish soap. This bipolarity is how you get these milk planets. Just as a warning, please don't drink this milk. It has dish soap in it. It wouldn't be very good. Our final experiment is called Invisible Soda Pop. I'll try to get the name right because from where I'm from, we call it soda, but I know around here it's called pop. So we're going to call it the Invisible Pop. To make our Invisible Pop, we're going to need a bottle of pop, unopened, and some whole milk. Do not drink this once we begin this experiment. We're going to make the pop see-through with only this milk, so start by opening your bottle of pop. A new bottle will have room at the top for you to add more fluid, so let's top it off with some milk. It isn't a lot, but that little bit of milk will make a big change. Right away, you'll be able to see something interesting happening. The milk is diluting the pop and turning it a lighter brown color. However, if we wait 15 minutes and take notes on how it's changing, we'll see some really interesting things happen to our pop. I'll see you in 15 minutes. Alright, we're back, and look at what's happened. It looks as if the soda pop is curdling the milk into little globs. It's starting to get a little chunky looking in there. If we give it more time, something amazing will happen. I waited a whole day, so let's see what happens after a day. Whoa! What happened? I can see through the top, and there's some kind of thing going on at the bottom of the bottle. Well, the calcium in the milk and the phosphoric acid in the soda pop makes a chemical reaction that creates tricalcium phosphate. This new thing we've created separates from the liquid of the pop and settles down at the bottom, taking almost all of the caramel coloring of the pop with it. So now we can see through the top half. Again, don't drink this. We definitely let milk sit out in it for an entire day. And when I poured it out in the sink, it was kind of gross. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time for more cool experiments.